Round one, fight.
You like that?
Finish me, Johnny!
Yes. You like that?
That's right!
Round two, fight. Finish him!
Vroom, vroom. And boom.
Fatality. Jhonny Cage wins. Round one, fight. Round two, fight!
You like that? Can we get this show on the road?
Final round, fight.
Are you looking at me? Finish me, Johnny.
about talent. Meet Hollywood's newest star.
Fatality. Jhonny Cage wins.
It's payback time.
Round one, fight!
To black. Damn, I'm good.
Round two, fight! Finish him!
Bring it.
Jhonny Cage wins.
I got you, homie.
Round one, fight! Round two, fight!
Back to one.
Finish him.
Bring it.
Jhonny Cage wins. Round one, fight!
Are you looking at me? You like that? Are you looking at me? Yeah, that's right. You looking at me?
Round two, fight!
chose poorly.
Brutality. Jhonny Cage wins.
So yeah, you know, he started killing my character and shit, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm about to turn up on your ass. I was about to do some crazy shit, but like, I forgot this combo right here. It's weird how after the match ended, I remember the combo. So right here, right, is something that I was working on a bit, where I can actually get 50% into a restand and I still have star gauge. So my hit advantage, as you can clearly see, is 5 frames. That's more than enough for Jhonny Cage's forward 3 to check the opponent. Granted, you did use your bars of meter. However, the problem that the opponent is going to face is the fact that the situation is actually reset. So I'm gonna let this drain down just a little bit, right? Like right there, right? So in that situation right there, when I hit, you know, the opponent, right, with this restand, the problem that you're facing is the fact that you just took 50%, right? Then on top of that, you're probably going to be forced to break, right? Especially if I'm hitting this combo consistently. So I'd rather take 50% rather than 53 or 54%. Even when you add a fatal blow to that, you don't go past that completely. So you're kind of wasting Jhonny Cage's star gauge, I think, and you're also wasting Kano's knives. When in reality, you could actually just go for a restand with this particular combo here. You can also, you know, do this off of Jhonny Cage's 2-1-2 if you successfully hit the opponent. And then you go into the nut punch and then you kind of reset the situation to a certain degree. And this is extremely beneficial because if the opponent ends up getting hit, right, and I don't have those bars either, right, like I can easily go like hold on, let me. So like if they disrespect the mid, right, and I have about that much star gauge, right? Like you see where I'm going with this. So technically, like what I would do in this situation here is like I would go for the nut punch first to restand them so I can extend my combo. I wouldn't go for a second one. And keep in mind, it's not necessarily guaranteed that you will be able to, you know, get a combo on the opponent. But the thing is like the chances of it being extremely high to a certain degree is definitely there because they have to deal with this. And then on top of that, like if they respect, they would have to deal with like, you know, his highs and his pressure, and that gives you enough time to get chip damage. You can build up more meter if you need to. You can also build up Kano's meter charge thing or whatever, you know what I'm saying, where he's charging up. So this can be beneficial for a lot of different reasons, but I'm kind of exposing a little bit too much of my character because I have been laughing with him a little bit. Not as much as I should be because I've been busy, but yeah, you know, motherfucker killing my character and shit, bro. And I'm like, oh, okay, bet, that's what we doing. I was like, all right, you know, you think I'm finna let you slide with that, bro? So you about to catch this L today. So I turned up on him real quick because I understood how he is defensively and offensively. If you notice in the beginning of the match, I realized every single time, you know, the match would start, what did he do? He would always call out Frost, and he was completely vulnerable. That is a very ballsy thing to do, especially when you're using a character like Frost, where you're always stuck into basically this animation here, because your character is completely vulnerable. And if the opponent knows for a fact that you're going to do that shit, like, you're going to take a full combo and you're going to have to eat shit for that. So there's more things that I'm going to lab with my character, obviously. But when it comes to his 2-1-2 and his 2-1-4, I do believe that you can fuzzy guard it when you're standing up. And I believe when you're crouch blocking, I don't think it's possible for you to fuzzy guard, even though I'm not particularly a fan of option selects, because it's just that I feel like it's not the player necessarily thinking on their own where they're guessing like, okay, he's going to go for an overhead and low. And that's just my personal opinion. I understand some people may feel differently about it, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody's entitled to what they believe and, you know, their own opinion and stuff. But it's just personally me, like, you know, I mean, it is in a game. So, I mean, it is what it is, you know, it's just, I like to think on my own you know, and then there's going to be times where you can't help it, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just I'm kind of iffy about option selects. I just think like the player themselves should have to think on their own. They shouldn't be able to rely on a flaw within the game that the developers overlooked, and that's just kind of like my opinion on that. And that's just my opinion. Like I said, I'm not bashing anybody or nothing like that, even though it kind of sounds like it. But when it comes to like Johnny Cage's you know, his 212 and his 214, they both complement each other mainly because of the fact that like when it comes to his 214, you can flawless block the second hit, right? Which is kind of weird. But when he commits into the 2144, which is the last hit, he's like -6 on block. But like if you pay attention to certain things, you'll notice like you'll be able to like armor through. So like I'll show you. I'll show you guys. Even though I don't like exposing my character, I'd rather have people learn on their own. But like as you can clearly see, right, I can flawless block the low, right? Like if I can fucking remember the timing of it, there it is. So off of this situation here, right, like the last hit you can flawless block and reduce the chip damage. But like, I mean, you're better off just flawless blocking. You're better off just flawless blocking the low first, and then dealing with the overhead if you can do it. If you can't and you feel more comfortable doing it this way, then do it like that for right now. But you're definitely gonna have to learn because he did commit, and I should have went through the gap because I knew there was a gap in there. But you can actually armor through. Um, you can actually call out Serena. So you could do like a reversal situation here where like if he was to do this to you in the corner, right? Like if his back was pushing to the corner, right? That's when the problem actually starts, right? Um, However, like the problem is like, you know, the spacing there. So the most you'll get is like a knockdown to a certain degree. But like there are cameos that have like reversals and stuff. And then like obviously like you can actually do that. As far as like jumping out or backdashing from this, it's not gonna happen. Now, obviously, let's see here. You can actually call out like a cameo fighter, and this is the unfortunate part. It doesn't show like the plus frames or minus frames or like the recovery period or anything, which is kind of weird. So I guess you would have to lab that on your own. So like if you try to like if you try like if it's timed correctly, I'm pretty sure like you can't escape it. I'm just trying to give you guys a good idea. And as you can clearly see, like yeah, it was timed correctly. Yeah, it was. So hold on. See what I'm saying? Like, you see that? So, like, cameo fighters basically can cover gaps. They can also be good defensively depending on which cameo fighter that you actually pick. It's dependent on what character you actually pick though. But there's so much more into it. Like Johnny Cage's 212 has a pretty big gap in it. So like if you have a 6-frame normal, you can actually down run it. Problem is that there's gonna be baiting, and like you can armor through this. Let's see here. You can't backdash it. But like as you can clearly see, like you can actually punish the recovery period because I think that's what I'm punishing. And then you can go for like you know, you can go for like your little combo stuff. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so I'm kind of exposing too much with my character, a little bit, especially with stuff that I'm working on. But you know, it is what it is. I don't really care. But yeah. Now, like I said, the problem that you're going to face is the fact that he has a 214, which is the low, and that benefits Johnny Cage's overhead a lot, especially when he's delaying when he's going to go for the 50-50, because he is -1 on block. So, like, if you were to try and take your turn, he could go for like a down one and steal his turn back, or he can go for a standing one and then potentially stuff the normal that you try to go for, such as like, say for example, I was to go for like Johnny Cage's 2-1, which is -1 on block. Um, and I know it's -1 on block, and I decide to go for like a standing one, which is like 7 frames. If I add that minus frame to that, it's 8 frames. So like if you were to go for Jhonny Cage's forward 3, which is 9 frames, um, your attack will get stuffed. So Johnny, in a sense, he can still turns to a certain degree, and then you still have to deal with the mind game of the parry, and you have to deal with the mind game of the um, a Bari attempt, like him taking his turns and shit, and then you have to deal with like the nut punch as well, which could cause a certain complication for you. Which I did use the parry against that individual. Nonetheless, good matches, I guess. For like a warm up match, I still got a lot of labbing to do with Johnny, so I can improve him because I still feel like I'm not improving with Johnny, but yeah, I think like his best anti-air so far, and this is just my opinion, is his back three. The reason why is because like it goes right above his head, um, and it's 10 frames on startup, which is ridiculously quick, right? And it's active for 4 frames, so that's actually not bad. The higher the active frames, the better. Um, but yeah, man. I'm probably going to try and find a creative situation for this because he's actually plus on block when he goes for this move, right? And then when you hit it like on a later active frame, right? Let me get into the space. Like as you can see, active for 30 frames, bro. Like if you hit it on a later active frame, it leaves him significantly plus on block. Now, when you hit the opponent, it doesn't seem like you can actually get a combo from that, which is kind of interesting, right? So if I do this, like he's like -6. But like if I hit it like right here, he's like +4, which is not a lot. And that's him hitting it on a very late active frame. And that's a lot of active frames, right? So yeah, now he's +10. So yeah. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a good way to kind of get like a meaty situation going to a certain degree, if I can find some type of setup or something or knockdown for this. And then like, of course, if I charge this up, he's actually +14. If you do it regularly, he's -6. So like, if you go for a down one to challenge the opponent's highs and stuff like that, you got to keep in mind they might check you with a mid or their own poke if their character's mid isn't faster than your down one, which will actually come out at 12 frames if you do 6 plus, 6 plus that -6. You add those minus frames to the next startup time or the next one that you decide to use. He has an 8-frame shadow kick, which is actually pretty quick. It's a lot quicker than his past shadow kicks, I think, because MK11 it was 11 frames. And then like he has like the active frames, which means that if you do hit the opponent, you will be hitting it on a later active frame, which means that your startup time is different. So if you guys want me to talk about active frames again, I'll be glad to do that, and I'll show you guys some situations, so that way you guys have a better understanding of how to use active frames and stuff like that. But I'm talking a little bit too much. But hopefully you guys enjoyed those matches, man. Thank you for all the love and support. I am working on some smoke combos a little bit. I did want to get an online match, to show you guys, I'm gonna be playing this game, online and stuff like that. There's still a lot for me to learn. Still a lot of other characters and matchups and things that I need to know. Especially with the cameo fighters being a thing, like you have to figure out how to deal with situations that can leave the opponent safe on block. You got to figure that shit out. Because I know for a fact when it comes to ratings like 2-4-2, I believe, and then he goes into like that electricity aura thing. And he uses Cyrax, you can actually armor through, or you can use like you can actually flawless block it. You know what I'm saying? To reduce the chip damage significantly. So I do know that for a fact because I was labbing a little bit with that because I did go against a Raiden player. But like I said, there's a lot of labbing that I have to do, and I'm not gonna take up too much of you guys this time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the matches. Thank you for all the love and support. Like I said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.